few years ago, my husband croaked. And so I started asking the question, who am I? And little by little, pivot by pivot, I came to know that I am God. I came to know that you're God, we're God. So I was thinking that, so I'm sitting here shooting rockets and talking to myself again. So in that sense of it being a it's in that gap between the Creator's creation and the creation's creator. It's in that gap of separation. Then I started to ask, well, what's my purpose? And I asked it kind of like, what I should do, where I should, what contribution I should make, to the planet. But what I came to see was that
do you know the contribution that you make to the planet? Now, this is an interesting thing. We want to start there because
Yes.
you've already said a great deal that we want to help you unravel and then clean up.
Yes.
So it's an interesting question that people ask. What's my purpose? What am I here for? What's the contribution that I can make? And you've heard us say already here today that when you manage to get yourself into this vortex so that you are perceiving whatever you're perceiving through the eyes of Source, that whatever you hold as your object of attention benefits just by your attention to it. Because in your strong connection with Source, when there's no split energy, you're more powerful than millions who are not. When you are in this vortex, you're more powerful than millions outside of it. And whatever you hold as your object of attention, you evoke the very best from them. In other words, you match for the time of your attention their vortex relative to them. And so it's an extremely uplifting experience for them. As long as you are living, and you always are, there's always this constant expansion and your exhilarating experience of getting to get up to speed with that furthest, most expanded place. And that is the purpose of life. We would go so far as to say the purpose of life is closing the gap, because the purpose of life is joy, and that's where that exhilaration comes from. Now stay with us just for a minute. Those of you who have been with us for a while, this is going to take you to a new place of understanding. So contrast causes me to ask for something that I don't have. I beat the drum of not having it, which causes me to ask and ask and ask. Law of attraction assembles it. And now I pay attention to how I feel, do some focus wheels, come into alignment with it, and get up to speed with what I've asked for. The most exhilarating part of life is from that moment that you approach the edge of your vortex. Now we want to tell you, the edge of the vortex, someone says, is it really as defined as you are making it out to be, Abraham? And we say, of course it is not as clearly defined, but it helps to define it in the way that we are defining it. We talked about that emotional scale for a while, and on that emotional scale where despair is on one end, where you feel disempowered, and joy and appreciation are on the other, where you feel empowered, true empowerment and freedom. So there is disempowerment and there is fear right down there together, and then there is anger or revenge, and then less anger, and then overwhelmment, and then frustration, and then hopefulness, and then belief, and then knowing. This vortex edge is right there between belief and hope. So when you get into the vicinity of hope, now you are on the brink of your vortex, and the joy of life that you all seek, that everyone you know seeks, is that feeling of exhilaration of getting into that range of hope and feeling the vortex then take you in to belief and knowing and manifestation. In other words, that's the woo feeling of your physical life experience. That is where the joy factor truly, truly is. So if we can convince you that the purpose of your life is to have that exhilarating feeling of coming into alignment with who you are, the purpose of your life is joy. The purpose of your life is getting up to speed with who you are. But in order for there to be an expanded you to get up to speed with, there must be contrast that causes you to ask. So the triad of intentions are: the purpose of your life is joy. The basis of your life is freedom to explore this contrast. And then the result of all of that will be that expansion. So whether we say the purpose of your life is expansion or freedom or joy, they are all equal components of this triad of intentions that you held and understood prior to your emergence as you came forth. None of you came to fix a broken world. You didn't see it as broken. None of you came to enlighten the world because you understood that it's an individual thing. You came for your own enlightenment. You came for your own alignment. You came selfishly wired, understanding that contrast would cause you to expand constantly, and that the greatest joy in your life would be to give birth to an expanded version of you and then to bring the rest of you up to speed with it. There is nothing in all of the universe that is more exhilarating than that. And you say, and what's my purpose? And we say, your purpose is the inevitable expansion which you cannot avoid. But your deliberate intention was to come forth and experience the joy of that inevitable expansion. And that's what we mean by being in the vortex. It means to be physically focused, to be managing your contrast in such a way that you can have closed this gap and be offering only one vibration, the vibration that connects with everything that you are and everything that you've asked for, with an absence of resistance happening. That's what being in the vortex is. Do you know that almost all of politics is outside the vortex? All religion is outside the vortex. You go to a family reunion, it's outside the vortex, outside the vortex, outside the vortex. Well, what can we do about this? And how can we fix that? And what's wrong with that? And well, that happened way back then. And do you remember when that happened? And I saw that coming. And what did she say about it? And what did he say about it? Well, you know, it was her first husband that started that. Before you just kill me now, you can never ever sort that stuff out. But all of that contrasting stuff, all of it is the fodder that helps you to ask and ask and ask and ask. And when you have the clarity to say, I don't need to stir it up. Esther will say to Jerry, I just want to talk about this just a little more, just for a point of clarity. And Jerry will say, please let clarity come soon. Because he clearly wanted to get in the vortex 20 minutes ago. He doesn't see the point of trying to sort it out anymore. In other words, you only have one thing to do. Once you feel some negative emotion, just stop and say to yourself, I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? And then do anything and everything you can to get in the vortex. And once in there, the manifestations will be your indicators of your shift in vibration. And that is your reason for being.
I read on the internet yesterday that the White House is predicting polar bears are going to be extinct in about, I think it's 145 years or something. And every time I think about how we haven't taken good care of the earth.
But you see, how did that feel when you heard that?
It felt awful. I had to click off the page.
So what does that tell you?
And I didn't want to think about it at all.
Then why
anymore.
are we talking about it? That's as far as you have to go.
Okay.
In other words, when you get that awful feeling,
yes. I clicked off.
But what that's saying to you is that perspective is so off from what source within you knows to be. But it's even deeper. In other words, it's not just that the polar bear might be gone. It's about the depletion of the planet. It's like the beginning of the end. It's like things are getting worse rather than better. It is this bogus train of thought that humans are beating the drum of that could not be further from what's going on in this vortex of creation. Let us give it to you this way. If your current population could stay focused as they are and could listen to that kind of programming and could stay focused upon the depletion of resources and the elimination of species, if that were possible, which it isn't, then it might be possible for a strong diminishment of experience to begin to happen. But there is a constant influx of knowledgeable energy coming forth in the form of new infants who know well-being. There is a constant influx of getting into the vortex by those like you who are tuning into who you really are. The recycling of that energy is such that it is our absolute promise to you that your planet is not getting smaller, it is getting larger. It is not becoming less sufficient, it is becoming more sufficient. It is not becoming less, it is becoming more. The well-being is becoming more, not less. And the reason we know that is, as you explore contrast, you in your evolution keep asking for more. When you're born, these babies that are born just now, as they join this platform, they have the benefit of all that you are. And from here, they're going to ask for more. And when they ask for more, the vortex is going to collect it, and the new energies coming forth are going to be it. In other words, it cannot be any other way. The love that is the source of all that is focused in such a way, with law of attraction at its base, that it is not possible for life to get worse. It must get better. It is the eternal promise of this expanding future that we are all a part of. And only someone outside the vortex is beating the drum of that, you see. And next, we want to ask you, do you really miss the dinosaurs? Do you? Do you?
You've got a great sense of humor.
Well, we're just saying, of course there is evolution and expansion. How could anyone stand where they are and predict what's going to happen for the next 45 years? For the next 145.
Well, you probably can.
We're just saying, someone who's making that claim, well, at this certain rate, and we say, first of all, if they even knew where all the polar bears are, maybe their statistics would be more accurate. Next, if the polar bear didn't feel what a icky vibe was going on.
Well, the polar bear didn't read that article.
If the polar bear, in its connection to source energy, could get up to the vibration of man who is predicting his demise, can't you now sort of understand why the polar bear isn't hanging around where man can see him? In other words, you keep thinking that these species are leaving your planet. They're just leaving the murky waters of your concern.
So we're going to have more and more plant and animal species as the vortex.
Of course, of course, everything.
Which is very exciting.
Everything is expanding. Yes. Good, very good. We know that it is not politically correct to root for well-being. Because whenever I know what I don't want, I always know more clearly what I do want. And once I know what I do want, I will just turn in the direction of that, find vibrational alignment with that desire, and it will be. So you didn't come into your physical body planning on taking a long time to create anything. You didn't plan on struggling and suffering. You planned on choosing and focusing. But as you come into your physical experience, many people, even though they choose what they do want, you could hear it with their words. I don't want that. I do want this. I don't want to be sick. I do want to be well. I don't want to have a shortage of money. I don't want to be tight with money. I don't want to be deprived of things I want to do. I do want to have plenty of money. I do want to be able to make choices of what I want to do freely. I know what I don't want. I don't want confusion. I know what I do want. I do want clarity. In other words, you hear people all the time describing what they don't want, what they do want. But we want you to understand that it is not by virtue of the words that you offer that you attract to your experience, although words can amplify how you feel. It is instead you are offering the vibration that is what you would call the thought or the thought energy. You are vibrational beings, you see, far more than the flesh, blood, and bone manifested beings that you know yourself to be. So when you come to remember that you are vibrational beings first and foremost, then it begins to make a little bit of sense how it is that you are asking vibrationally, not with words. Sometimes, in fact quite often, someone really knows what they do not want. So they use words to describe what they do want, but not as many words to describe what they do want as words to describe why they don't want what they don't want. In fact, a lot of times, without even realizing you're doing it, you are explaining why you need something or why you should get something by amplifying how bad it is without it. Sort of like you're pleading your case to your mother. She used to come up with the goods. Finally, you just wore her down. All right, all right, all right. I said, all right. But the universe is always responding to your vibration. So when you're focused upon being sick in your explanation of why you want to be well, you're keeping active within yourself the vibration of sickness, not the vibration of wellness. And so wellness can't come to you, not while the vibration of sickness is the dominant, most active vibration.